All right, we have Swee from Newswav, Aaron Key from Carsome, and Sharmeen Looi from iMotorbike. Please do welcome them up on stage.
All right. Good to see familiar faces. I think I've gotten comfortable at this spot already. Like I mentioned earlier, this session we'll be diving deeper into AI. And it's not just about AI in general, right? So earlier we talked about generative AI. Today we want to look into how AI has been helping some of these amazing companies on stage scale. How have they gotten from day one to where they are, and how much AI has played a role in that scaling effort, right? Because I'm sure apart from the usual business acumen, the customer acquisition, there are many parts of the businesses as well that have implemented certain type of technology maybe in helping this to take place. So to start off the session, maybe all of you can take turns in just giving a short introduction of what you do, but more importantly, also share with us how do you manage to scale your businesses so quickly? What are the key strategies, and whether AI had a part in any of this journey? Maybe you can go first.
Sure. Hi. Good afternoon. My name is Swee, and I'm the founder of Newswav. So we are basically a content and news aggregator in Malaysia. So I would say, I wouldn't say we scale very fast, but of course, like every startup, we try to scale as fast as possible. And I think, being in the content business, AI is quite important to us. I still remember, back then, when we started, we were fetching like thousands of contents, and it's impossible for a human being to actually like categorize the content one by one, like whether it's like a political content, sports content, business content, and or stuff like that. So we actually hire a bunch of freelancers and part-timer to train a model so that the AI model can help us to recognize like each content, whether what segment or what category they are in. So this actually helps us to speed up a lot in terms of the daily operations in segmentizing the content. So of course now being a lot of Gen AI and stuff like that, AI getting more mature, and it actually helps us in a lot of different areas in terms of making more efficiency in terms of our operation. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Hi guys, my name is Sharmeen Looi. I am the co-founder and CMO of iMotorbike. So iMotorbike is a platform that allows customers to buy and sell pre-owned motorcycles. So it's just like Carsome, but for bikes, right? So we're in Malaysia and Vietnam. So we provide, the usual stuff, the extended warranty, 6 days returns, and etc. So iMotorbike is a platform that allows customers to trade motorcycle safely, hassle-free, and fast. So today, you can actually buy or sell a motorcycle just under 30 minutes. Right? And I would say we're still young, we're very infant, compared to all these giants. But I'm very proud of the startup that it is growing really rapidly. Just to give you a growth sense, right? Last 10 months, we were just one inspection center, but now we're at 8 inspection centers across. We're doing about 50% growth in terms of number of orders. So there are so many, obviously, strategies, right? I can't share all, but I can probably just highlight some that are important. I guess learning from others, I guess like players like Carsome, same industry or other industry. And we're also very fortunate enough that we started as a classified site in 2016. In 2021, we pivoted into getting the inventory on our own, because we understand there was a gap how people trade motorcycles, right? That's why we were addressing that, and we were lucky enough that we already have that community and that we can learn from it. So, and the next strategy is I guess, like speed, right? We understand that we need to do a lot of experiments. You know, there's no right or wrong experiments. I guess the right thing to do is knowing when to, like, example, pivot, knowing when to take the decision, what to do in the solution. And I think another significant strategy would be partnering. As an infant stage startup, I think partnering with credible names really accelerate your growth, right? Give example, we are partnering with, you know, the banks that gives loan options. We partner with the oil and gas company for location, distribution. So, and also, like, you know, OEM guys. So I really believe that if you want to grow, you grow together and you partner with the industry.
Thank you. I'm Kamarul. I'm from Aerodyne. We are 9 years old, so not young anymore. But in terms of growth, yes, we pretty much double our revenue every year. So bike, car, we are drone. Except we are not really drone. We are actually a data company. What we do is that we use data from drone to help our industrial customers improve their operations. In fact, we define ourselves as a planetary health company. Why do I say so? Because we improve efficiency in any enterprise operation. When it comes to critical infrastructure management like road, highway, bridges, railway, pipelines around the world. So we use our automated drones together with our data analytics, which I will get to that, using AI, to improve their operation. And it's quite common for our customers to improve their operations by 3-4 times better than previously. Better mean faster, and also cheaper as well. At the same time, this is 20, 30, sometimes even 50% of their cost as well. So in terms of scaling, how do we scale? In the beginning, we expanded out of Malaysia. We went in directly. We are already in 45 countries today, but we have offices in 14 countries around the world. And over the past 4 years, we have completed 21 M&As. So we also invest companies and we take controlling stake around the world, and they become our entity on the ground as well, to do the data capture for us and then to do all the solutions delivery around the world. So that's how we expand. In terms of AI, it has helped us tremendously. Initially, basically, drone capture the data and we provide the analysis. We have engineers, we have technicians that would massage this data and provide the solutions to our customer. Using AI has been, game changer for us. To give you an example, we do a lot of telco tower management around the world. And for telco tower, I'm talking about tens of thousands of towers around the world. So typically, if you want to inspect one tower, it will take 3 to 5 days to complete, from the inspection to providing the reports and all that. Today, the drone will fly for 10 minutes. We upload the data into our system. Within 40 minutes, you get full analysis. It will detect where the defects are. We even predict where the failure will come. And it took us 3 years to develop the solution. And same thing, from telco to now power line to pipeline. For pipeline, even more exciting. If in the past, people would use helicopters to survey an area of thousands of kilometers, what we have done is actually we put sensors along the line, and we have drone in the nest throughout the pipeline as well. So sensors detect anything, those drones will be sent automatically without any interference from anybody. Drones will go there with computer vision. It will actually detect whether this is a false alarm or whether it's just elephant walking nearby causing some the vibration and so on, or it is a serious thing. If it is serious, then it gets escalated. So it becomes a fully automated system. So it's, again, a real-time kind of data. It saves our customer from using helicopter, huge cost savings. And last but not least, logistics. This is one of the other verticals that we work on as well. Logistics using drone typically will save 60 to 67% of the cost as compared to helicopter. So today, for example, we've already are sending food in the Himalayas, between island to island in the Bahamas. Soon we'll be working in Papua New Guinea to send blood, medicine, and food in the remote area. So doing so in a very fast manner and a lot cheaper as well. So, but that's basically what we do in general. Thanks.
Testing. Hi, good afternoon. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for staying back after the session. As you can see, the crowd is a bit thin. But we're going to give you some additional insights that the people out there wouldn't get it. Because, I mean, you have Aerodyne, you have iMotorbike, Newswav, and Carsome here. So we're going to give you something special. Anyway, forget to introduce myself. My name is Aaron. I'm the Chief Business Officer of Carsome. We are just like iMotorbike, but we sell cars. Probably something that we can think to go into after this. AI. So firstly, I just want to share that, at least in my view, AI has been a buzzword that people use, but not necessarily know how to leverage on it. You hear a lot of people talking about AI, you hear people talking about machine learning, but what it actually entails. There's a research done 2 years ago, there was no mention of AI, but 2 years later, 92% of the S&P 500 company mentioned AI in their earnings call. But interestingly, if you follow Apple announcement, the first time they ever mentioned AI was just 2 days ago. So imagine a company as big as Apple talk about AI only now. Now, in my opinion, the reason is very simple. AI has been overhyped, especially if you don't know how to utilize it. We think AI is just a tool, a catalyst, and an enabler for an outcome that you desire to achieve. Particularly in Carsome case, what we intend to do with AI is really on how does it really help to accelerate the growth of our business? How does it help to accelerate the conversion of the funnel? How does it help us to price our cars better? And I can throw in a few examples. And I don't want to make it overly complicated because to me, AI, there are a few levels. It's just like autonomous driving, right? You have level 1, level 2, level 3, and trust me, we are just at level 1. And a lot of people can use level 1 as an example. Carsome is very big on selling cars, right? Literally speaking. Pricing is our number 1 competitive advantage. We have the ability and capability to absorb the entire market volume when it comes to transactions over 500,000 a year. And as you know, pricing is a very, very sensitive and a very subjective matter. Specifically for Carsome, what we do is we digest all the information that we get, literally speaking, from the databases that we have, overseas, international, and domestic market, and we pair it together with consumer preferences. How would you price a Myvi? A Myvi might be different from Kamarul, price at Kamarul's level versus my level. But what we essentially do is we harness the power of AI to really match with hard and soft data together to churn out a price that allow us to convert customer at 92% rate. So which means for every 10 customers come, we are confident that 9 customers will be able to transact at the price that we determine when it comes to selling a car. And likewise, when it comes to buying a car, despite us being priced at above market due to brand equity, due to the significant value of the value-added services that we have, we are still able to determine at what price the conversion is the most optimal for our business. So to me, AI, yes, it's a buzzword, but it is only as useful as you know how to use it. And in our case, we tailor it, we customize to make sure that it drives the outcome for our business. And the outcome is really on being customer-centric and being sales-driven.
Thank you. I hope you guys are excited because one of the main themes I've been hearing right now is that most of them actually use AI as a utility, right? So it's not something where, oh, this is a cool tool, let's just use it. But there is an inherent problem or opportunity to implement some sort of automation that assists them in getting to where they are quicker. And that is what we are going to talk about a little bit more right now as well. Let's go straight to Sharmeen, right? So just now in your introduction, you talk about the partnerships, you talk about the different technologies and platforms that you're using. Where does AI have a part in all of this? I mean, it's a highly competitive space. It's nice to hear that Carsome and you may have something after this. I don't know. We'll leave that out. But in this highly competitive space, right, how does AI contribute to your advantage over here in the marketplace environment?
Correct. So I always believe, like, yes, AI is a hype, right? But it's the same as trend, right? You really need to go with the trend. So AI is the trend. So it's how you utilize, squeeze, and leverage on what you can get from AI. AI is just not ChatGPT. So we use AI in every department. Just, I think Aaron mentioned a little bit about pricing. pricing, which is absolutely true. We use the same kind of AI as well, because for us, we believe when you're buying right, you can sell right? So we use, I can give you some example, like tech, right? Very simple. Like, I think it was just last week I asked my tech guy, like, how long do you take to code? He said, very fast, because I just asked AI to generate. 70% of the work is done, and then obviously he looked through and it's done. We can create a script, right? That's because of AI. You're able to create, last time you need to code line by line. If there's a bug, you need to find line by line. Now everything is like reported to you live. In terms of data analysis, which is really important, we use it primarily on our inventory analysis. So it's just not for the market analysis, like what's famous right now, like is it Honda or Yamaha? It's more about what we have right now. How many Honda I usually sell in that month, right? This means that when I get, example, another Honda when I'm buying, it's able to give me like the right price to buy, right? And this saves costs. And another good thing is on workshop as well. We do after sales too. So with AI, I'm able to already know this typical brand, this type of bike has what common problems, right? So when the customer comes in, we already know right away what's the problem. It won't be 100%, but at least, out of 10 bikes, 6 or 7, you go there and then you reduce your operational costs as well. I guess like for website, definitely we use AI a lot on understanding customers' pattern, browsing behavior for recommendation. We've got a lot of customers buying a car or a bike, right? It's not like buying a towel off Shopee and Lazada, right? It takes time. You need to talk to the customer what they want. So we have chatbots, and these guys can first do the 70% of the work where customers say, okay, I want sequential bike, 150cc. This is my budget. So they are able to already provide you here are the choices, what you can get, which loan you are able to get. So the work is done, it's really good. That's on website. And lastly, I would say obviously is marketing, right? We use a lot of AI in marketing. I'll give you example, content, even campaigns. So my campaigns team, sometimes they brainstorm with AI, like, it's May, what should we do? And then you have a lot of discussion. Just as I think recently as well, one of my team members, he gave me a song about iMotorbike. It sounded really cool, and it's done by AI. It was like a Post Malone rap thing. And it's all by AI, right? So fast, so simple. We don't have to spend a lot of money on it and spend time.
I really like how you connected from data analytics, understanding the customer needs, for all the way from inventory, all the way linking to marketing and content. And speaking about content, we have a content expert over here as well, right? Swee, I mean, in the introduction, you mentioned that you guys didn't start with AI in the beginning, right? It was a lot of manual tagging, it's a lot of own sorting and all that. So how has the implementation of AI really changed the way your users interact with your content? Has that changed, those manual days versus the AI days? Do you see an uptake or any observations over there?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first example that I've given just now, aside from sorting articles, sorting content, the other thing that I think most content companies use it to do is recommendation, right? Because nowadays people demand content to be served to them. It has to be very relevant, and they don't want to actually spend time on searching content that they would like to consume. So we actually spend a lot of time to do research and R&D in terms of making our recommendation engine more efficient. We actually try to analyze how user interacts with the content, because we have large amount of different topics. Just the top line, we have like business articles, sports articles, lifestyle and stuff like that. So how do we know one person what type of content does this person actually likes to consume? And for example, maybe in the morning I would like to consume consume business content, but during after work, I would like to consume some of the entertainment content. How do we actually capture the behavior of the users? So all these are actually big data that we collect, and then we actually pump it into our model to try to learn it. And from there, the model can actually help us to recommend the relevant content to the users. So I believe the same thing, of course, like TikTok and Facebook, they are doing in a very, very large scales. We are just a very small company starting, trying to touch around here and there. But eventually, I think in this informative era, right, recommendation is one of the most important things for content industry. So that's why we are very focused, and we wanted to actually make our recommendation engine to become better and better.
I'm going to throw you a curveball here, right? So yes, recommendations are great, but as consumers, right, sometimes it feels as though the algorithm is shaping our behavior more so than us consuming the content, right? What if I don't want business news in the morning, right? So what do you think the role of AI has been in driving this news consumption habit? Is there any?
Sure. So basically for AI, we talk about prediction. For example, how ChatGPT works is that once you type in some words, they will try to predict the answer word by word and then answer for you, right? So in terms of predicting what type of content will be relevant to the users, is also something that basically the computer is guessing. It doesn't necessarily to be 100% correct, right? So that's why when you look at most of your social media or content application, you always see like a big X, on the right top. If let's say you doesn't like the content, you press on the X, and then you give some feedback. Why is it not relevant? Is it the content is not a very good return content? So this type of, I would say, manual feedback from the user itself will actually help to shape the recommendation engine to be more accurate, because people change all the time, right? So for example, my taste will change like maybe quarter over quarter, right? For example, my mood during December versus during mid-May is a bit different. So the content that I would like to consume might be different as well. So this is how, we can't really 100% rely on the prediction from the AI, but it also needs to leverage on a lot of input from the user as well. Yeah.
Nice. So another thing that we've learned here is that AI continues to evolve, and the company needs to continue to invest in the evolution as well. It's not like a tool, plug in once, and then you automatically just be there and continue to serve its purpose. Great. Kamarul, right? In your introduction, you mentioned 45 countries. Amazing. Congratulations. But to me, that also means headache, right? Because when it comes to AI and like a technology like drone, can be quite sensitive in some countries as well. How do you as a company navigate all these regulatory challenges, doing all this data analysis, data collection, using AI technology in drones and all this? How does your company navigate this headache?
We started to go out of Malaysia in 2017, and the very first time we actually went in directly. So we went to Australia, we set up an office in Melbourne, we went to Dubai, we set up an office in Dubai as well. We did a road tour in the States, we spent a couple of months over there and choose a place to set up our operations as well. So some work, some doesn't, for many reasons. The one that works was Australia. So immediately we went in, was very receptive, we were able to grow very nicely, year one, amazing growth as well. But in many countries, we immediately realized this is not a strategy that can work everywhere. Primarily because of drones, and then you're getting foreigners to fly drones in your countries, and it's not going to be easy. That was the time where we started to pivot, where our focus should really be the analytics from our data, not just capturing the data. But that's phase 3. We decided to go for phase 2 first. And phase 2 is where we enter into all of these countries through M&A. So we went scouting for top drone countries in every country that we wanted to go in. So we invested in the largest drone company in the Middle East. We invested in the largest company in Brazil, in Chile, in the US as well, and all that. So all the data capture is done by our partners, our subsidiary. All the analytics are done using the intelligence system that we already developed. But yet, at the same time, data residency, confidentiality are respected. Data in Australia stays in Australia, data in America stays in America. It's just that the algorithm, it's just that the processing, the system that we've developed runs those, but it's all done independently in all those countries. So we solve a lot of issues over there, allowing us to grow, yet being able to operate in many other countries as well. It also serves other functions as well. Many of the subsidiaries that we invest in, they're also already expert in new fields that we have not done yet as well. So they then became our center of excellence in some different space. For example, when we invested in a company in Italy, they were working on road, highway, bridges, something that we don't deliver yet in other countries. So once we have done that consolidation of expertise, we started to deliver the same thing globally as well. So things has evolved since then. That was, I would say, our second phase of growth. It enabled us to start growing as well. Today, we are now codifying all the intelligence, industrial intelligence, into what we call DRONOS, Drone Operating System. This is the Uberization of our solutions. So as we move forward, our competitors are now our partners. We do not want to do the data capturing anymore. We don't need to do that anymore. The main thing is to create the harness value from our intelligence system. So now, soon, we are working with AWS, we are working with Microsoft. Soon our DRONOS will be available in all the cloud service provider. They can sign up. Enterprise corporations that have cloud credit, they can immediately go ahead and use our system. They can go out and fly and seriously, for you to harness intelligence, if you do not know enough, you can't get it. It takes a lot of knowledge, really deep domain knowledge to get this. Something that we have already codified into our system. So this is a win-win strategy for us. So as we grow now, we do not want to be doing the flying anymore. In the beginning, it was fun. It's a fun thing to fly drone. But the cool thing is really the intelligence system.
Very nice. Since you're on the topic of scale, right, what do you think got you guys to that level of phase 3? Because it sounds like you had a very clear plan step by step, right? Was this plan clear from day one?
If I say so, I'll be lying. So a lot of the time, I mean, of course, we give it our best shot. We tried a lot of lesson learned along the way, a lot of things that did not work as well. So I told you the rosy side. Okay, there were a lot of lesson learned along the way as well. So, but at the end of the day, it's really about change. You know, every organization you need to execute change constantly. I mean, we learn our lessons along the way. So successful companies are always companies that change and adapt all the time. So there's a separate conversation altogether about change and adapt. So this iteration where we are today, we are now even moving to the next big thing even. You know, as we evolve over time, we've already now developed all of this really, really smart intelligence system. If you think Palante is more military and now enterprise, that's who we are now. We are the Palante for the industrial side. We are able to help our customers really, really save their costs, operate more efficiently in agriculture. We are like an oracle. We can predict the future for our customers. We can predict their yield. We can tell them which particular plot will give you a problem. So that intelligence is the value. So our business now is enabling people to really just operate better, and we are continue to evolve in terms of the knowledge.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Speaking about using data in AI and all that, right? I think let's also hear a little bit from Aaron, because AI is no stranger to Carsome. I mean, you guys use it very extensively for data, for intelligence, inventory, and so on and so forth. Maybe you can also share with us a little bit, what are some of the more critical decisions made by AI, through your company, of course, and how did that impact business operations or customer interactions?
Okay. So I think firstly, we don't use AI to make decision. I think at the end of the day, the decision lies with the people. If AI starts making decision, then we are frankly speaking quite screwed already. But yeah, let's not mix it up, right? AI is designed to help you and I to make that decision. What AI essentially is doing for us at Carsome level is to take away the laborers' workload, the intensive data compilation, the analytics part of things with a click of a button. And that churn out the analysis that we would like in the context that we would want, and to drive the decision that eventually we should have. Number two, I think how we really deploy AI in our business, apart from the analytics is really on the financial side of things. And I think as a business owner, the ability to understand the financials beyond the numbers is highly, highly critical. So what essentially AI, or rather the intelligence that run behind the financial insights, to give us granular decision-making point that we would have, which are the market that is underperforming, and more precisely, why is it underperforming? Is it because of a volume issue? Is it because of a conversion issue? Is it because of a productivity issues? And through that AI interpretation, it allows us to make decisions in a much shorter time frame. And to me, that's a lot more critical. AI, again, is not meant to replace decision making. It is to help decision making. And how you use AI to help you to make decisions is far more critical.
Sure. So again, in the spirit of scaling and growth, right, how is Carsome able to use some of this data to make this, again, assist in making these decisions, in understanding which are the countries to focus upon? Should I go in now? Should I go in later? Has this always been part of the consideration as well? Or were there other factors that influence the scale and growth that you guys are experiencing?
Okay, so firstly, I'd like to echo what Kamarul just mentioned. We always dream, we always be ambitious from day one, but a lot of things happen organically even for Carsome as well. From starting in Malaysia, we started with one center in Kelana Jaya, it's still there, to expanding into Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, and the Philippines. I think a lot of things happens organically. What we really need to do is to understand a strong product market fit. What problem statement are you actually solving by inventing this solution? Are you solving the supply side pain point? Are you solving the demand side pain point? What kind of value add you can bring to the ecosystem? Are you converging the both of these two, or are you bringing some other value add services? And the way we see it, how when we scale up beyond just Malaysia, is we see a natural adaptation of our solution in other markets. Because cars, right? Everywhere has cars, and everyone has problems selling cars. Everyone has problem buying cars, used car, I mean. In this market particularly, there's no major brands trusted that you can go to when it comes to used car. When it comes to used car, people are worried about buying a lemon car, how mileage, accidents, so on and so forth. So what we do see is the solution that we're offering is applicable to many other countries, many other regulations, but it's very, very critical for us to customize based on the local culture and context. If you try to copy and paste your solutioning, your playbook from one country to another, usually it doesn't work. And again, just to echo what Kamarul said, what you hear are all the rosy things. You never hear about the failures and the mistakes. And we have made countless failures as well. The key is really to continuously innovate, iterate, and be dynamic in the situation. And a lot of hard work, frankly speaking, a lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work. I think that's the theme from the first and second session as well, right? This is a constant thing I think you probably hear throughout the entire conference as well. Let's come back to Swee on the topic of content, like what we spoke about just now, right? Were there any challenges that you guys have also faced using AI as part of right now sorting your content, categorizing, doing all these things, right? What are some of the main challenges, and whether is there even a challenge in maintaining what they call editorial neutrality? Or is it all literally based on interest and there's neutrality is actually blurred at this point?
Sure, thanks for the question. So neutrality, I think that's a good question because however a neutral piece of content is, if the person that is reading it is already biased on it, so definitely no matter how neutral that content is, they will still have some sort of bias towards one of the side. So I think that is one of the challenge that we have because for example, we can't really rely 100% on AI for recommendation because they are basically just predicting the behavior of the users. And sometimes they don't really understand the users because it might be a new users, or maybe the model is just not effective enough. So I think towards this, we can't avoid having human intervention to actually selecting articles, or maybe even removing articles that is deemed sensitive by certain parties, right? So that's why I say I do think AI is here as a tool to help humans to make better decisions. And but sometimes, we still need human intervention to actually make the right decision, to avoid all this.
So you still can't escape the fact that you still need somebody to kind of moderate what the AI is doing.
Yes, you are right. In fact, that's why people say supervised AI, right? So basically, AI is a label, a smart label, but you still need to have a human to actually supervise them. But I don't know, maybe 10 years down the road, eventually AI can get better where, they can actually function without supervised by human.
Nice. Talking about AI supervision, right? I'm also curious when Sharmeen earlier you mentioned when you do after sales as well, right? When you also talked about how you use different AI models to help that particular process. So when it comes to supervision, how much supervision is needed in the after sales market that where you operate in maintaining, let's say, customer loyalty or satisfaction or repeat purchases? Is there any part to play in this?
Correct. So I think I'll explain two parts, right? Front end and back end. Front end is definitely for the customers, technical support. So the minute somebody has a problem, right, and they use keywords like, I don't know, can't start engine or, the chain is broken. So we're able to capture the keywords, and then obviously this is already summarized for our human CS to deal with. So we already know why it's the problem, roughly, right? That helps to reduce the cost. Back end, AI is used to predict what parts, or I give a very simple example, like how many oils do I need in a month to cater to XXX brand, because based on my data that this kind of bikes comes back with this problem. It's really thorough, right? So that's on the back end that we are able to teach because AI, actually, you need to guide AI. The more information you give to AI, the more they learn about whatever you want to achieve. I was just in an event with CGP, right? You can put everything on your cloud, right? And it will learn, and the more people use it, it will get better. So obviously with this, because we always see AI as a friend, like a tool to help, obviously, not like, taking over a job. So we use that to our advantage. Yeah. So that helps with aftermarkets a lot, to save costs, save time, yeah.
Just to make it a little bit more obvious for all of us as well, right? So by doing this, how does it help iMotorbike to scale from 1 to 8 and maybe 8 to beyond?
Like I said, we take a shorter time to fix the problem for after sales. It means that we still need our mechanics and officers to work on the bike, but now they are taking a shorter time. So instead of working in a day, they are able to work on 5-10 bikes with the data that we have provided, and they know how the AI is helping them. They now can do like 20 bikes in a day, and that helps with optimize, the growth. Obviously, the more bikes you help to after sales. Same thing as purchasing as well, not just after sales. Like the more bikes we're able to buy at the right price will be better. I think with Carsome it's the same as well. The more you buy, the more you sell, the more growth you have.
Nice. I like how we are briefly touching on the topic of talent, because I went and read a little bit about what you guys have done, and then there's this particular quote by Kamarul back in 2020, right? So I want to bring that up again. Hopefully that's okay. You mentioned that recruiting talent is, with a global mindset, is also a major challenge in the growth of Aerodyne. Has that changed right now in 2024? Right now you're in so many different countries, we head offices in so many countries. Has this changed so far? And does AI or technology play any part of this?
Before I answer that, can I chip in a little bit about AI earlier?
Sure, of course.
Because I have a different opinion to what you guys were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. You see, when you talk about AI, you talk about AI as a tool, and which is true, but this is at ANI right now, artificial narrow intelligence. By the time we get to artificial general intelligence, by the time we get to artificial super intelligence, it's going to replace us. I'm not kidding. This is where AI is heading. So what we talk about today is really just artificial narrow intelligence. AGI is already here today, almost. almost. So if you look at the Copilot and GPT-4, this is just a clues of where it is. I think it should start thinking differently, because a lot of our work today will be done by AI as we move forward. Anyway, just an opinion on that one.
No, that's a good one. I think it's a good perspective that everybody would also need to know.
Okay, now back to talent. I think talent is perpetually a problem for any organization. You want to get the best of talent because that's your biggest asset. So when I talk about finding local talent, I mean, we have most of our senior leadership are local anyway. We still do have good local talent over here. But as we are competing globally, we need really world-class talent. We need the best talent that we can find. So since 3 years ago, we've been hiring globally. And from the M&A that we did, it's also acqui-hire. So we also acquire all of those leadership as well. So to a lot of extent, we've sort of solved that issue. Except now the cost of hiring has gone up exponentially as well. But it helps because we have a different purpose. We have a clear purpose of what we wanted. We wanted the best data platform. We wanted the best intelligence system. And that can only come from having the best team, the best people in the team.
So what tips can you give our audience here today in securing or looking for this kind of talents, as some of them are also thinking about scale and growth?
Yeah. Reputation is very important. Why would the best people want to work for you, right? So the kind of people that I have in my organization are the people that I can only dream of when we were small. No way these people would come and work with for us. Obviously, we couldn't afford to pay them as well in the early days, right? So building brand reputation is very important. You know that the culture of the company is also very important. So we spend a lot of time building this, and we have not finish the effort yet as well, you know. So you want to build that brand reputation. You want to create a reason why people want to come to work for you. You want to create that clear purpose as well. You know, a lot of people are really inspired when they know what are they doing for the world. You know, seriously, a lot of good people are not just there for the money. You know, a lot of people really want to do meaningful stuff for the world. And of course, on top of that, you have to pay people well as well. I'm the group CEO. I have more than 10 people that I pay a lot more than me as well, for example.
Wow. It means a lot, right? It means a lot. I think it's always assuring to hear that leaders are not stingy with payment, because I think that's very counter what we've been reading a lot on LinkedIn today. I don't know about you guys, but my LinkedIn is always flooded about people complaining that they're underpaid and all that. And then here we have leaders saying that, hey, they are good people that's being paid even more than the leaders themselves. So there's still hope, guys. Good talent is it is important for a lot of us. Now, continuing on, I'm aware of time as well. Maybe we can also talk a little bit about the future of this kind of technology, or even within your company, as you continue to scale, maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, right? We can take turns to also share a little bit on which are the areas you guys are be focusing at in this next phase of scale. With or without AI, I think that does not matter. But what is the focus right now for your respective companies? Maybe we can start from Aaron and then we can move to Swee.
Okay, so firstly, Kamarul, can you give my CEO a call? Yeah. 10 guys paid more than the CEO. Didn't happen for me. So for Carsome specifically, I think we are transitioning away from a hard asset to a soft asset company, very similar to Aerodyne, in fact, where you are moving into a OS-related company. At the end of the day, you know, what I always tell people, what I do is I don't sell cars, I sell trust. Because, you know, to be fair, everyone can sell a car here. There are plenty of used car dealers out there, but what makes your car different from Carsome car? What Carsome is essentially doing is we are instilling trust into the market. We're instilling confidence in the market by upholding our brand integrity. And that's something that it helps us to evolve into the products that we want to do. I'll give you an example. We start off with buying and selling cars. We then expand into classified websites. So for those who are unaware, we also own a Wapcar, which is a new car review website. We also own Carlist, which is Southeast Asia's largest review website. And we are injecting the sense of trust, the sense of brand confidence in these multiple brands as well by pulling in a Carsome name into it. So to me, product is an outcome of what we're building, and Carsome is very, very focusing on building the most trusted brand within the industry, whether be it by selling hard assets like cars or even soft assets like data and whatnot, because eventually what we believe is as an organization, you have to remain very agile, you have to remain very dynamic. If you are fixated in your origins of your story and you don't evolve, eventually when the competitor is going to come. Right, like when your profile has grown bigger and bigger, the competitor is going to come, and by then the pie is still the same. So you're just grabbing the same pie by doing the same thing. So what we continuously always do is what's next for us. And in fact, just to add on the last bit, which is pricing, is very, very big for us. In US, there's this thing called Kelly Blue Book, if you're familiar. So in US, it's very transparent. If you key in your car data, it extracts all your car conditions, mileage, accident record, and it churns out an exact car price for you. In Malaysia here, we don't have. Pricing is a very vague, very hidden, very subjective thing. What we aim to do is we want to introduce a standardized format of how do we price a car. And it helps you when it comes to buying a car, when you get a loan, when you finance, when you insure your car. And that helps to drive transparency in the market, which we hope eventually, Carsome as a brand will be able to elevate the entire used car industry. So just to sum up, yeah, we do expand into beyond hardware now.
Nice. Kamarul?
What's the question? What's next?
What's next for you guys?
Right. Well, for us, we are redefining ourselves as a planetary health company. That's essentially what we do. We use AI for good, for the good of the world, right? And that's also include us doing other things as well. The next big thing for us is education. We already launched our Aerodyne Institute 2 months ago, with the hope of upgrading this to a university status in the years to come.
Wow, very
because
nice.
For us, talent is also very, very important.
Very nice. Sharmeen?
So we're all in different stage of we're such an infant stage. There's so much to do and so much to grow. But I guess what we've been focusing since day one is scalability, focusing really in profitability itself, because I think we really want to make sure that we sustain ourselves as well, making sure that we have a product that is not only interesting to the customers, but also our investors, being very relevant. At this young stage, if you're able to be relevant when you grow big, you don't have to have headache about it. You can focus on other things. So that's still our direction. And of course, to scale, literally, going to more cities, more countries. Yeah, that's the plan.
Very nice. It's Swee.
Thanks. So from the first day when we started Newswav, we know that AI and big data is one of the core values of the company, right? So back then, I think I mentioned how we actually leverage different machine learning models, stuff like that, to help us in terms of operations. That was back, 5 years ago. But thanks to companies like, OpenAI, they actually brought ChatGPT to a level that now even people that are not tech savvy, they can also leverage AI to actually help them in daily tasks. And I fully agree with what Kamarul just mentioned. With AGI coming, eventually it might actually replace human in terms of doing some of the more important stuff as well. So for us, right, in order to grow to the next level, we think we are going to double down on AI, because now AI it's slowly become more common. For example, when we started using AI, we only can access some of those models from GCP, and you can't really access from other server provider like AWS and stuff. But now it's getting more and more common. So I would encourage entrepreneurs like yourself to actually leverage AI more to see how it can help you to grow faster and also expand the business.
Nice. With that said, we have come to the end of this particular session. Can we give a round of applause again to Aaron, Kamarul, Sharmeen, and Swee? Thank you so much.
Thank you to all our panelists and as well as our moderator. All right, so it comes to the end of our session. So now we will actually take a short break and we will resume back at 4:30 for our third session. So please feel free to enjoy the light refreshments that we've prepared for you outside and network with the people around you.
All right, so see all of you back here at 4:30 p.m.